They're terrified of two words: Project 2025. The left is screaming, the media is panicking, and now they've dragged Ben Shapiro into Congress to try and crush it. But instead, he turned the tables and exposed their entire game.
Project 2025, it's one of the most Googled search terms right now. And you're not going to get any censorship from me. So I just wanted to know, from your perspective, I think it would help us understand, on just like a scale of 0 to 100%, how much do you support Project 2025?
I think, like President Trump, I haven't looked all that deeply at Project 2025, but it seems that Democrats on this committee, sort of like Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, if they say Project 2025 enough, their presidential candidate becomes alive again.
And so, well, let's just talk about pieces of it, and I guess you can tell me if you support it. You probably want less bureaucracy, right?
I do.
I want less bureaucracy. You want more efficiency?
I do.
I want more efficiency. You want taxpayer money spent wisely?
I do. Congrats on becoming a Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. My parents would be proud. Mass deportations, it calls for that. Do you support that part?
I support the deportation of any illegal immigrant who's in the United States who is not of benefit to the generalized American public.
So if they're picking agriculture that puts food on the tables of everyday Americans, they've never committed a crime inside the United States, they didn't come across with documents, should they be deported?
If they have not paid taxes and if their draw on the taxpayer benefits are larger than the contribution they're making to the economy, or if they're involved in criminal activity, they should be deported.
How do we measure that?
The same way that the IRS measures my income every year. It seems like if the IRS can track down every aspect of every receipt that I've ever submitted, and
So
they
if
can do so for hundreds
pay-
of millions of other Americans, they can do that for illegal immigrants as well, except for the fact that no one knows how many are in the country thanks to this administration.
So you would be cool with creating a system where they could pay those taxes if they wanted to, and then stay and work and put food on our table?
It depends on how long it would take for them to pay the taxes, and they would also have to go presumably to the back of the line, although I'm not sure why I'm testifying about immigration policy at this point.
How about banning the abortion pill? That's part of Project 2025. Do you support that part?
I think that that's a state-by-state issue on a personal level.
I'm just asking you.
Sure, I'm a fully pro-life person, which means that I'm not in favor of the distribution of the abortion pill.
Banning same-sex marriage, what about that part?
I am in favor of traditional marriage between a man and a woman, and I am perfectly fine with anyone having any sort of voluntary sexual arrangement they seek. That's a different thing from whether the government should attach benefits to that personal relationship.
But you think it's a sin to have same-sex marriage?
I mean, I'm confused. Are you asking me as a religious Jew what I think about biblically?
I'm just asking, is it a sin to be gay?
Is it a sin to be gay? I mean, how long do we have here? 2 minutes? I mean, if the basic idea is that sexual orientation is up for government regulation, I'm not in favor of the government regulating the private consenting sexual activity of adults. That is a different thing, once again, from whether the government ought to engage in actual benefits for particular sexual arrangements that adults make.
But again, just you to me, is it a sin or not?
From a religious Jewish perspective, orientation is not a sin, but activity is. That's also the same perspective of most major religions, so far as I'm aware.
Okay. And how about cutting Social Security? Do you support that part of 2025?
I'm not sure what Project 2025's position on Social Security is. I'm in favor of the restructuring of Social Security along the lines of privatization and lowering and increasing the retirement age, because you, as well as every other congressperson, knows Social Security is going to go bankrupt, and yet everyone seems to have an interest in lying about it for the next decade and a half until we have to take austerity measures or radical.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Jace Manois. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button and smash that subscribe so you never miss a breakdown of the chaos coming out of Washington. So, today we're reacting to a committee hearing where Ben Shapiro went toe-to-toe with the left's latest obsession, Project 2025. And let me tell you, this whole thing was eye-opening, not because of what Shapiro said, but because of how desperate the left has become to scare Americans with shadows and slogans instead of solutions. The Democrats on that committee dragged Shapiro in thinking they could pin him down, hoping he'd either fully embrace or completely disown Project 2025. But here's the thing, he admitted he hasn't studied it deeply, just like Trump hasn't. And yet, the left acts like whispering Project 2025. 3 times will magically summon their struggling candidate back from political irrelevance. It's laughable. What Shapiro did was dismantle their talking points one by one with logic and calm precision. Less bureaucracy, more efficiency, spending taxpayer money wisely. Tell me which sane American doesn't want that. but the left frames it like common sense governance is some kind of radical extremism. It's not. It's called being responsible. They pressed him on mass deportations, and he drew a clear line. If illegal immigrants commit crimes or drain the system, they should go. But if they contribute, pay taxes, and obey the law, then let's talk about a legal path that doesn't reward lawbreaking. That's not cruelty, that's fairness, a word the left only seems to use when it suits their narrative. On abortion pills, Shapiro stood firm on his pro-life convictions while respecting states' rights, exactly what federalism demands. And when they tried to trap him with questions about same-sex marriage, he refused to take the bait. He said government shouldn't regulate private relationships, but also stood by his religious belief that marriage is between a man and a woman. That's what real tolerance looks like, holding your faith while respecting others' freedoms. They even tried the fear-mongering about banning books. Shapiro shut it down. No one's banning books about slavery. What conservatives oppose is graphic sexual content being pushed on kids. That's called protecting children, not censoring history. The left knows this, but they keep pretending not to because outrage fuels their agenda. And finally, the committee member ended with a rant about Alvin Bragg, Hunter Biden, and all the investigations that never seemed to go anywhere. You know what? He's not wrong about the frustration. The American people are tired of empty promises and endless hearings that lead nowhere. We want results. We want accountability. We want action. This hearing just proved what we already knew. The left has no solutions, only scare tactics. And if standing up for secure borders, fiscal sanity, family values, and protecting kids makes us the bad guys in their eyes, then so be it. We're not backing down. Thanks for watching Jace Manwa. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep fighting for the America we know and love.